It is a beautiful morning in Dallas, great morning to ride, so when we're done with the filming, I intend to hop on my Harley and just ride the streets of Dallas. I'll keep at least 6 feet between me and any other motorcycle or car. Today's episode is called The Warm Breath of the Dragon. And unlike our prior episodes, which were about a person or a particular bike, this story is about a place, and the place is the Haas Motorcycle Gallery at Dragon. The Dragon Gallery was, and it still is, a place that houses a bevy of magnificent bikes, but it's also a place that holds very warm memories for me, the place where I feel the warm breath of the dragon. In our last episode, we mentioned the first custom bike ever produced by Max Hazen, named appropriately enough, First Bike. It wasn't the most famous build that Max ever produced, not on a par with the Twin Musket or the Black Knight or the Salt Shaker, but that bike still has a powerful meaning for Max. It's how Max occupied his time when his shattered leg was healing from an off-road accident. And that project is what launched a career like no other. And the same may be said of the Haas Motorcycle Gallery at Dragon. Just like Max, who was dealing with a serious physical issue and career transition at the time First Bike was built, I too was dealing with health issues and also career transition at the time we broke ground on the Haas Motorcycle Gallery at Dragon. You simply never know how your life will change when you ignite a welding torch or you stick a shovel in the ground. One of the reasons why places evoke such powerful emotions is it's often a place that ignites a certain passion, and that passion can have lifelong implications. And the Dragon Gallery occupies just such a place in my life. It is not nearly as large as the Haas Moto Museum. Its footprint is 5,000 square feet compared to the 20,000 square feet that houses the museum. But it is the place that converted my passion for motorcycles into a long-term commitment to share those cycles with the public. It is the place which gave birth to the ambition of creating a museum like no other. When we decided to build the huge museum just 2 blocks away from the Dragon Gallery, we never considered closing the gallery. Instead, we decided that Dragon would be a companion to the museum, housing a portion of our vintage collection that would rotate on a regular basis with the exhibits in the museum's collection. Our guest often described Dragon as the hidden jewel of the Haas collection. Dragon also turned out to be the laboratory where we tested fresh ideas, and we used those ideas to construct and curate the new museum and to make it a museum like no other. Sometimes we got it backwards, and sometimes we got it just right. And when we got it right, we would display something beautiful and impactful in a variety of different ways in order to stimulate our guests. Dragon is the venue where many of the elements that eventually made it over to the museum were first tested. And if our guests at Dragon found those elements to be visually arresting and captivating, we would utilize that method of display, those elements, at both the museum and at Dragon. It is where we first made the layout user-friendly, with wide aisles that allowed our exhibits to have plenty of breathing space. We were practicing social distancing before it was fashionable. And it's where we hit upon the idea of suspending cycles from the ceiling and using the shadows as a canvas for announcing their brand. It is where we tried out the idea of using magnificent paintings and photos and sculptures to convert a museum visit into a multimedia experience for art lovers of all types. and it is where we hit upon the idea of elevating our motorcycles onto custom-designed platforms with mirrors that would allow our guests to view our cycles from beneath. This weekend I spent a few hours all by myself over at Dragon just to feel the nostalgia and the magic of this place. And you really can have affection for a place. An example would be the very small house you grew up in as a child, or the dorm room where you spent 3 or 4 years at college, if it evokes certain memories of a fond period of your life. I want to show you the team photo of our entire staff that was responsible for building Dragon. It also happens to be the team photo of our entire staff that was responsible for building the museum. Stacy was my one and only team member when we built the Dragon Gallery, and my one and only director when we built the museum. And now she's simply my one and only, period.